Hello people, and welcome to the return of my series, Video Game Battle, where I compare two games, compare them with each other, and decide at the end which is superior. So for this special episode, let's bring out the contestants for tonight. The original Super Mario Bros. 2 versus Jak 2. Now I know a lot of you might be very confused, but I'm not going to compare these games in terms of quality. Oh no, I will be comparing these games in terms of difficulty. These two games are considered not just the hardest platformers out there, but also some of the most hardest video games you could ever experience. So I'm just going to see which of these two is more frustrating than the other. So now I'm going to expect to lose my brain cells. Let's compare the difficulties between these two games to see which one's more harder. Oh boy, here we go. Let's start out with Super Mario Bros. 2. First of all, we all know that this version of Super Mario Bros. 2 wasn't officially released as a sequel to the original, and was replaced with another Mario game that was a clone of the Doki Doki Panic game, and there is an obvious reason why for that. First of all, the gameplay, graphics and music are pretty much the same as in the original. Well, the graphics, subtitles and enemies have been updated with more shading in the designs, and you can play as Luigi in this game as well. You still have to control Mario to get from point A to point B, and fight Bowser at the end of each world. But trust me when I say that the only thing in this game that has changed drastically is the goddamn difficulty. Why? First of all, the level design. God, the level design is just plain cruel. You have more frustrating platforms to jump on, more obstacles placed in such random positions, more huge gaps to try and jump over, and worst of all, the enemies. The levels this time are flooded with more and more enemies. It's a nightmare. There's more bullet bills, more piranha plants, more lakitus, and more... Oh no! Okay, let me get this out of the way. I've encountered many enemies and platformers that kick my ass so many times, but the Hammer Brothers are the worst I've ever set eyes upon. There, I said it. They never give up, they keep constantly throwing their little hammers at you, and guess what? They are more aggressive than the ones in the original. They keep coming towards you until you say, you know what, fuck it, just kill my ass. Seriously, tell me which restaurant does turtle soup, please, because I have the perfect ingredient. But if you think that's pretty abysmal, then take a look at some of the new obstacles thrown in this game. There's gusts of winds that blow you away from platforms if you're not careful, and then there are... Wait, the mushroom was poisonous? Oh god, a warning would have been nice! Anyway, because this game has more larger gaps, you have to time your jumps perfectly. And I mean perfectly, if you even want to make it to the other side. But since you can't go backwards in the levels, that just makes it even more hateful. There are also times when, oops, you've come to a dead end and there's no hope now. Well, there is, providing that you know that there are some invisible blocks that you didn't even expect. God, this game doesn't even give you any hints whatsoever that these obstacles exist. They just say, fuck you, and surprise you unexpectedly. Now, don't get me wrong, I have played a lot of Mario games that kick me in the balls numerous times, but god damn, this game makes Super Mario Sunshine look like Mario Kart fucking 64. I am so glad that when you get game over, you don't go back to the beginning of the game like you do in the original. Otherwise, well, this game would have been a train wreck if it was universally released. God, whoever designed the levels of this game must have been a sadistic mastermind, because playing through this game is like going through a jaggy thorn bush in your underwear, and that's saying a lot. Okay, that's all I pretty much need to say on Super Mario Bros. 2. It's a platformer nightmare with a difficulty that will give you no brain cells left. Enough said. Now let's move on to Jak 2. Now I know a lot of people have already discussed about how hard this game is, but hey, that doesn't mean I can't throw any of my own 2 cents. Now, unlike Super Mario Bros. 2, the game's difficulty is set within missions, and believe me, if you thought beating a Grand Theft Auto game was hard enough, you haven't played this game whatsoever. Ask any Jak fan or any gamer who have played through this game from beginning to end, and you will see that this game makes the original Crash Bandicoot look like the original Spyro the Dragon. Let's look at the missions that are just plain hateful. Anyone remember the Eco Mine mission? Of course you do. All you have to do is drop a few bombs into the eco wells to destroy them. Sounds easy, right? Well, it would be if Daxter didn't activate them before the mission even started! And what's worse is that the wells are so spread apart in the area, so that means you have to use your board to get through a lot of the platforms to reach the wells. Now you think that this wouldn't be so hard if you just take your time, right? Oh, but hello, we only have 2 minutes to blow them up, so you can't just go at a snail's pace, because you're just wasting time. You have to be at the speed of Sonic the fucking Hedgehog to even beat this mission. And once the timer expires, that's it. You go back to square fucking one to start all over again. But if that wasn't enough for you, then get a load of the racing missions. As much as I despise racing challenges and platformers, at least the ones in other games I could actually beat. Here, good god, the racing just gives horrific nightmares. I don't care what kind of character I'm racing against. Even if it was such a skilled racer, these missions should not be that frustrating. Why are these missions so tedious? Just watch! They have the most tedious track designs with bottomless pits and out of place shortcuts, and instead of the races consisting of 3 laps, you have 5. For racing missions, I do expect it to be somewhat difficult, but not this kind of difficult. But ladies and gentlemen, we now get to the cream of the crop, the Get the Seal piece at the Water Slums mission. I know everybody rants about how hellish this mission is, so let me give it to you in a nutshell. I pity those who screwed up countless of times that they quit the game and moved on to Jak 3, but with the lack of health packs, a flood of enemies, awkward as hell level design, and going into water blows you up, this mission is nothing more than a ball buster. I'm giving a warning right now to those who are still playing through Jak 2 and haven't reached the mission. Make sure you get a cold bucket of water, a punching bag of someone you hate, and some tablets, because this mission will come and get you no matter what. Wait a minute, the Jak and Daxter collection is coming out soon, so that means... Oh, what? That's how difficult these games are, people. Now, which is more difficult? Super Mario Bros. 2 is a platformer where everything in the game is trying to kill you, and Jak 2 is a platformer where most of the missions become your biggest enemy in the game. Figure of speech, by the way. Every bit of Super Mario 2's level designs just teases you with its awkward platforms and out-of-place enemies, whereas Jak 2's missions are all about using all of your mission completing skills to even beat. I have to say, Jak 2's missions have more variety. It gives you rhythm gameplay, racing, collecting, and other fetch quests. I know this is kinda obvious since Super Mario Bros. 2 is an NES platformer with no objectives whatsoever other than going from point A to point B. Though I have to admit Super Mario Bros. 2 has more frustrating platforms and obstacles to face than in Jak 2. God, these games are so hard. It's also become hard to determine which of these is the hardest one, because both games are cheap, hard as hammers, and nearly unbeatable. But since the point of my series is to pick only one game, I guess I'll have to go with Jak 2, that is the hardest. Super Mario Bros. 2 is still hard, probably the hardest Mario game you can find. However, if you are a pro of Mario games, or a pro of platformers for that matter, then you might not find this game too hard. Jak 2 on the other hand, you'll have to have both good skills at both platforming and missions if you even want to beat this game 100%, or just going through it. So the winner is Jak 2. That wraps up another video game battle, and people, I'll see you all in the next video.